In INTP, Introversion, Intuition, Thinking and Perceiving, I'm going to share with you what they are like in an in-depth manner. Introduction. The logician personality type is fairly rare, making up only 3% of the population, which is definitely a good thing for them as there's nothing they'd be more unhappy about than being common. Logicians pride themselves on their inventiveness and creativity. Their unique perspective and vigorous intellect, usually known as the philosopher, architect, or the dreamy professor. Logicians have been responsible for many scientific discoveries throughout history. This is the EMC square from Einstein. People with the logician personality type would much rather make a series of logical suggestions for how to resolve the underlying issue, a perspective that is not always welcomed by their more sensitive companions. The unexamined life is not worth living. Logicians are known for their brilliant theories and unrelenting logic. In fact, they are considered the most logically precise of all the personality types. They love patterns and spotting discrepancies between statements could almost be described as a hobby, making it a bad idea to lie to a logician. This makes it ironic that logicians' words should always be taken with a grain of salt. It's not that they are dishonest, but people with the logician personality type tend to share their thoughts that are not fully developed, using others as a sounding board for ideas and theories in a debate against themselves rather than as actual conversation partners. People who share the logician personality type aren't interested in practical day-to-day activities and maintenance, but when they find an environment where their creative genius and potential can be expressed, there's no limit to their time and energy. Logicians will expand in developing an insightful and unbiased solution. This may make them appear unreliable, but in reality, no one is more enthusiastic and capable of solving dealing to endless factors and details that encompass the issue and developing a unique, viable solution than logicians. Just an aspect punctual progress report. Research begins to wonder. They appear to drift in an unending daydream, but logicians' thought process is unceasing and their minds vast with ideas from the moment they wake up. Constant thinking has the effect of them making look pensive and detached, as they are often conducting full-fledged debates in their own heads. But really, logicians are quite relaxed and friendly when they are with people they know of who share their interests. However, this can be replaced by overwhelming shyness when logician personalities are among unfamiliar faces, and unfriendly banter can quickly become combative if they believe their logician conclusions or theories are being criticized. When logicians are particularly excited, the conversation can be bordered on incoherence as they try to explain the daisy chain of logical conclusions that led to the formation of the latest idea. Oftentimes, logicians will opt to simply move on from the topic before ever understood what they are trying to say, rather than trying to lay things out in plain terms. The reverse can also be true when people explain their thought processes to logicians in terms of subjective and feeling. Imagine the immense, complicated clockwork, taking in every fact and idea possible, processing them with a heavy dose of creative reasoning, and returning the most logically sound results available. This is how the logician mind works, and this type has little tolerance for an emotional, monkey-wrenching jamming their machines. Let those who would move to the world first move themselves first. Further, logicians are unlikely to understand emotional complaints at all, and their friends won't find a bedrock of emotional support in them. So they are less emotional actually. This will likely extend to the more social conventions and rules as well, like planning dinners and getting married, as logicians are far from concerned with originality and efficient results. The one thing that really holds logicians back is their restless and pervasive fear of failure. Logician personalities are prone to reassessing their own thoughts and theories, worrying that they miss some critical piece of the puzzle, that they can stagnate, lost in the intangible world where their thoughts are never truly applied. Overcoming this self-doubt stands as the greatest challenge logicians are likely to face, but Intellectual gives big and small bestowed on the world that when they do makes it worth the fight. Thanks for watching. Invite you to subscribe to my channel and support my people. Thank you very much. INTP strengths and weakness. Let's talk about their strengths. Great analysts and abstract thinkers, people with logician personality type view the world as big complex machine and recognize that as with any machine, all the parts are interrelated. Logicians excel in analyzing these connections, seeing how seemingly unrelated factors tie in with each other in ways that belittle most of the other personality types. Imaginative and original, these connections are the product of an unrelenting imagination. The logician ideas may seem counterintuitive at a glance and never see the light of the day, but they always prove remarkable innovations. Open-minded logicians could make these connections if they thought that they knew it all. They are highly receptive alternate theories, so as long as they are supported by logic and facts. In more subjective matters like social norms and traditions, logicians are usually very liberal with none of my business sort of attitude. People's ideas are what matter. Enthusiastic. When a new idea piques their interest, logicians can be very enthusiastic. They are reserved personality type. If another person shares an interest, they can be downright excited about discussing. More likely though, the only outward evidence of this enthusiasm will be logicians' silent pacing or staring into the distance. Objective. Logician analysis, creativity, open-mindedness aren't the only tools of some conquest for ideology or emotionally validation filter. Rather, it's as though people with the logical personality type are the conduct for tools around them, so far as they are to express as their part of the role as a theoretical mediator. Honest and straightforward. To know one thing and say another would be terribly disingenuous. Logicians don't often go around intentionally hurting feelings, but they believe that the truth is the most important factor and they expect that to be appreciated and reciprocated. The photo of Einstein. Let's talk about their weakness. Very private and withdrawn. While logicians intellectuals use many insights into their surroundings are ironically considered an intrusion on their thoughts. This is especially true with people. Logicians are quite shy in social settings. More complicated situations such as parties exuberate this, but even so still struggle to get into logicians' hearts and minds. Insensitive. Often times, logician personalities get so caught up in their logic that they forget any kind of emotional consideration. They display subjectivity as rational explanation as an attempt to bar much needed progress. Purely emotional situations are utterly puzzling to logicians and like times sympathy can visibly offend. Absent-minded. When logistics interest is captured, their absence goes beyond social matters and include the rest of the ego. Logicians become forgetful, missing even the obvious if it's unrelated to their current infatuation, and they can even forget their own health, skipping meals, asleep, and condescending. Attempts at connecting with others are often worse than logicians' withdrawal. People with logician personality type take pride in their knowledge and rationale and enjoy sharing their ideas, but in trying to explain how they got it from A, B to Z, they can get frustrated, sometimes simplifying things to the point and insult as they struggle to gauge their conversation partner's perspective. The ultimate insult comes as logicians give up a dismissive never mind. Loaf rules and guidelines. These social struggles are partially a product of logicians' desire to bypass the rules of social conduct and otherwise. While this attitude helps logicians' strength of unconventional and creativity, may also cause them to reinvent the wheel constantly and to shun security in favor of autonomy in ways that can compromise both. Second guess themselves. Logicians remain so open to new information that they often never commit to a decision at all. This applies to their own skills as well. Logician personalities know that as they practice, they improve, and any work they do is second best to what they do. Unable to settle for this, logicians sometimes delay their output, definitely with constant decisions, sometimes even quitting before they ever begin. Knowing their strengths and weaknesses can help you better adapt and interact with them. Thank you for watching. Invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and support my Patreon. INTP romantic relationships. When it comes to romantic relationships, logicians have an interesting mixture of traits that often pleasantly surprise their partners. And they are more logical and so they are less emotional, but they give surprises to their partners. People with this personality type are always full of ideas, but they have few opportunities to explore their more romantic notions. But they can be very intellectual and very smart to actually interest you with, with creative ideas. As with any of the other theories, logicians love sharing with others and finally meeting someone where their romantic thoughts are appropriate. They show themselves to be excited, enthusiastic, even playful, flirting with wordplay and intellectual games. So they can get creative when it comes to dating, and then you can have an interesting date with INTP. None of this is to say that these relationships come easy to logicians. They are shy and withdrawn individuals, and getting out, meeting new people, risking rejection, and making themselves the center of attention in emotional delicate situations are far from being their strengths. So they can be pretty shy when it comes to love as well. It is more likely that logician personalities will leave a trail of breadcrumbs for a potential partner, allowing them to make the first move and committing their partner as an act of reciprocation rather than bravado. So they actually be more passive. So they actually just leave some hints for you to actually date them or just be close to them. For the start, logicians take their relationships seriously. Their imagination and vision and challenge of getting to know new people, making them all too aware of how important it is they are involved with someone. So they will prove themselves surprisingly loyal. So they are loyal to relationships, which is one of the good perks of being with an INTP. Even early in the dating phase, logicians are usually direct and honest, doing their best to express their mindset and create mutual understanding, believing that this shared knowledge will help to minimize misunderstandings and avoid conflict. So they are very intellectual, so they like to talk about their thoughts and feelings with you, but more of their thoughts on how they think about matters. As their relationships progress, logicians' daily needs prove remarkably simple, gifts, surprises, complex social plans, and date nights are fairly unimportant to people with the logician personality type. But this is also one of their chiefest weakness. Their partner may very much read these things and it won't even occur to logicians to plan them out. So this is a weakness and they may stand to lose their like relationship to because of this lack of because some of the love signs is called gifts. For all of the analysis and attempt to mutual understanding, logicians are notoriously bad at picking up others' emotional needs. So this is also one of their weaknesses when it comes to relationships. So be understanding to an INTP also because they're less emotional and more logical. When these conflicts do arise and are inescapable, logicians will do their best to find a logical solution. I say they are more of a thinker, so they will actually find a method to resolve all the conflicts. But this hardly helps if the problem is logic itself that logician personalities aren't meeting the partner's emotional needs. So if the emotional part would actually fall short for a INTP, they're less emotional in short. Logicians should keep this in mind and try to meet the partners halfway by communicating an emotional level. If they make this effort, understanding partners will recognize and appreciate the gesture, clumsy though it may be. So they can also be emotionally caring to you. They can also understand you emotionally. If they try, they can try to do it. After all, they need to afford logicians the same benefit and meet them halfway with logic and simplicity as well. So they have to so they also have to meet halfway. So it's a both ways between couples to for INTP and other characters to actually mix around. All this material asceticism and conflict avoidance support one primary goal: to free up mental resources for the more important things, like their research and their work. So they are very work-based and they are very mental as INTPs. Logicians' creativity and vivid imagination make for a surprising, enthusiastic, passionate, and romantic partner. So they can also have their romantic side as well. So it doesn't mean they are all just logic. They can also have their emotional side if they make an effort and attempt to do it. But logicians may prioritize their inner world too much, imagining interesting and exciting intimate situations that are never expressed to the other partners. They also use this rich inner world to achieve as much as possible in intimacy. They value one for ideas. So they actually have a very strong inner world of their own research and work and logic. Physically, intellectually, and with a little effort emotionally, logical relationships are rich and rewarding connections. They're rich and rewarding because you can understand them, understand their thoughts uh, better, and then you can understand each other's thinking well with the INTP character. Partners who share this intuitive trait are usually best doing along with one or two opposite traits to create variety and balance. But as long as logicians remember that they are with people and have their own independent wants and needs, so and as long as their partners remember the same, the logistic, these are long lasting and satisfying relationships. So it's logic and emotional needs that have to work two ways to actually support a relationship to be successful for INTPs. Thanks for watching. Invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and support my Patreon. Thank you very much. INTP Parenthood. Discover how INTPs do parenting. In parenting roles, as with many social roles, logicians find themselves facing a robust but healthy challenge. Not a natural sensitive type, logician personalities struggle to identify with the raw emotions and irrationality that are often the standard with young children who have yet to develop sort of self-control and logical thinking that logicians take for granted. So they usually are more logical and they are less emotional with their child. People with the logician personality type are nevertheless incredibly devoted, perhaps not in the traditional emotionally supportive sense, but they are thinkers and they inspire them with their thinking. But they are parents who are committed to encouraging their growing children to think and act independently, seek out new knowledge, voice and defend their own opinions. But they can make them independent and full and with their own personal opinions, so they can take care of themselves. For logicians, knowledge is key, and they will not do their best to give their children the tolerance and freedom necessary to acquire it. So as you can see, the background is books and a key, so they will actually like give some knowledge and understanding to their kid. Logician parents take a relaxed intellectual approach towards the children, allowing them to explore the world around them and overlooking the more minor offenses along the way. So they're not concerned with the minor offenses, but they want them to understand the world and then to survive. Rather, logician parents are demanding in an intellectual sense. They want their children to ask if this path is best for them and how to go about following a different one if they need to. This level of personal freedom can be daunting and can take a long time to come to terms with, but logician parents are prepared to stand by their children with support and advice for as long as they need. So they are actually very supportive when it comes to choosing their life options for their career, for their marriage and life, in whatever ways. So they actually are a good support system. While there's hardly a better parent for having rational, intelligent discussions with their children. So yeah, there is hardly a clumsier example when it comes to providing the emotional support that many children need, especially as they approach their teenage years. So in the teenage years, you may face some problems, regarding emotional support, but you can find a middle path where they can actually provide emotional support as well. So it may be clumsy, according to the to this uh to this video. Not just life, but good life logicians want nothing more than for their children to grow up smart, independent, and tolerant. So they have to be tolerant as well. So to and not just being smart and independent, but if they want them to be well adjusted to, they must make this effort to actually interact with them, talk to them, spend time with them. Logician parenting style affords a great deal of latitude for their children, but with this freedom comes responsibility. And it's a logician's responsibility to ensure that it's used constructively. So yeah, so that's one of the perks of having a INTP parent, though it's a challenge for people with logician personality type to teach empathy alongside rationality. So they actually are less empathetic but are more logical. If they put it off, their children will grow to be confident adults who know how to ask questions, use their minds, and take care of themselves no matter what comes their way. So they'll become independent and strong adults. Credits to the Pixel Bay for photos and 16personality.com INTP parents for content. Thanks for watching. Please invite to subscribe to my YouTube channel and support my Patreon. Thank you very much. INTP career advice. So what kind of career is good for INTP will be shared with you. Logicians are solitary, eccentric, and independent, none of which is listed as desirable for corporate positions, which are usually designed for very different personality types. So they are more of a thinker and more of people who do research and who are all in the lab technicians, research, and analysis. Logicians usually struggle in finding careers that meet their needs, but what they do bring qualities in much higher demand are creativity, a passion for theoretical methods and ideas, and entrepreneurial innovative spirit. So they are good in R&D, research and development, coming up with innovative ideas. If they are able to put this better foot forward to secure a position in a suitable line of work, people with logician personality type will find that whatever the job listing says, the less desirable qualities will prove an asset after all. So the less desirable means the logical, the mental, the thinking. Chief among logician interests is exploring and building models for underlying principles and ideas, even going so as far as to find these concepts in their own way beautiful. So they like to build models and structures. This makes them natural mathematicians, system analysis, and career scientists, especially in more abstract fields such as physics. So the physics professors, people working in quantum physics, working in astrophysics, can be possibly INTP. There are many other careers that allow logicians to explore these interests, but many of them are far too rooted in uninteresting practical applications. So, INTP is very practical. They take very practical careers like forensics as well, besides lab technicians and lab scientists. As useful as it is to develop better vacuum cleaner, it's no large hadron collider. Logical personalities are self-driven and have very high personal standards. Good enough is never good enough, but have few environmental needs. So they want to be excellent at their job, at their work. So they like to develop very powerful concepts and very powerful practical applications. Despite this relatively simplicity, they are often hard for people-centric types to understand. Logistics live primarily in their own heads and have little interest in social distraction like chit-chat and motivational speeches. So they are more towards having results. They are results-driven besides all the motivation and all the chit-chat. They are more results-oriented. For this reason, the flatter the workplace hierarchy, the better, making smaller technical workplaces and future law, forensics, laboratory research very desirable for logicians. So they are good for law, forensics lab research, like I said. This is actually a microbiology lab technician, as you can see in the photo. Insightful and open-minded managers who can accommodate these needs will find their logician subordinates to be a tireless generator of brilliant and unique ideas. So they have very innovative ideas and they are very good theories. You can see here is they are actually space technicians fixing the satellites. However, many people with logician personality type do away with the immediate hierarchy altogether, opting instead to provide their services on a freelance basis as consultants. So some of them, they don't be tied up by the hierarchy, right, and the office. So they actually just want to be freelance. They can be freelance as well. When logicians do thrive is in a workplace that require them to provide high degree of emotional satisfaction. Push-shape muscles, they are not. So they are not those that do customer service as well. It doesn't really suit them to do customer service because they are more logical, and then they, as you know, this requires emotional support as well for this kind of industry. Logical personalities struggle to understand emotional exchanges and service-oriented positions. Like I say, will prove baffling and exhausting for them. So they do not excel in these positions. Though logicians are talented analysts who are perfectly capable of understanding the theoretical importance of customer service, the day-to-day application of such scheme is simply better left to more people-oriented personality types. So they probably are not too people-oriented, but they are actually theoretical and mind-oriented. Business is growing more complex every day, and this complexity is managed with technical systems, economic theories, and data. So they can be very good data scientists, programmers, logical thinkers, system analysis, CRM, like creators, customer relationship management software creators. The need for novel approaches is stronger than ever for people and organizations to distinguish themselves. So they need this talent to actually create like powerful applications for the company to excel in their business. Work as business analysts and corporate strategists is well suited to logicians, but they can also move things forward as data systems analysts, mechanical, electrical, and software engineers, even as technical writers and journalists, provided the field is interesting enough for them to sustain their interest. So they need to sustain their interest as well, even as they do all this career, as they go on their career path. So besides want to talk about this, they actually can smile and shake hands just long enough to establish themselves as brilliant innovators as they are. So they need to have like a sort of motivation to actually do their work. They must be able to have strong connections with their teammates if they have interest in their work. People with logician personality type will find that whatever the expectations for social conduct is the qualities unique to them that are truly in demand. So they have very in-demand kind of qualities because they are creative innovators and they are very logical thinkers. So they actually can create results for your company. Thanks for watching. Invite you to subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, and support my Patreon. Thank you very much. Workplace habits for INTP. This is an introduction. The running theme for logicians is their desire for solitude, need for intellectual stimulation, and the satisfaction of the final piece of the puzzle clicking into place. So they are more intellectual and less emotional in the workplace. So they go very well for like example for analysis or programmers. Whether it's subordinate or manager positions with colleagues or working alone, these privileges are the freedom to pursue the unfettered by social obligations, and progress reports are all about people. So they are all about, so they are actually not people orientated, but they actually can be very logical when it comes to assessing people. So logicians may scoff at notions they actually function best when paired with another person. Their position determines which personality type best fits their needs. So if regards to their needs, maybe another INTP might work, or another analysis character might work with them, but they can be different also. But logicians' tendency to live in their heads and vent inspiration and creativity seem at random demands at the presence of an implementer to ensure that no stroke of genius goes unnoticed. So they want to like display their talents on their logical mind and very creative and innovative ideas. Thanks for watching. There's a part 2 of this video. Please subscribe to my channel and support my Patreon for my so I have a next video for this. Please watch on. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. INTP workplace habits, logician subordinates. So you'll learn how is it like to have subordinates for logicians. Under right conditions, logician subordinates are innovative, resourceful, and hardworking. So they are actually very creative thinkers, as said by this presentation. Easily wrapping their minds around whatever complex problems are placed in front of them and delivering unorthodox but effective solutions. So they are very logical in their mind, and they are not really concerned about whether they are likable or not. It's not really their top priority. Their top priority is the work and then how logically they can complete their work. However, these qualities require a great deal of freedom, something stereotypically managers are loath to see. So because managers want control and want more management, which sometimes the INTP needs some space to actually have his creative geniuses found. It is difficulty to quantify on a resume. Several of the other characteristics, like a relative indifference to job security and to being liked, exacerbate the challenge. So yeah, that's one of the problems. So they're not afraid of the job security, and it can take time to grow to trust logician subordinates enough to allow this latitude. So it will take some time to have this sort of trust, because they actually take some time to actually come to fruition. Logician personalities prefer to work alone, but at the same time they despise grunt work. Grunt work means the menial work and the menial tasks, the everyday tasks that you do. They like to do breakthroughs, and then this is a physics chamber with a with a physics physics major scientist. They are focused on conceiving new and exciting ideas and ignoring the details of execution. So they want new exciting ideas, and because they are creative, so they would prefer to have all these to prefer to actually find out more about the science of it and then just making breakthroughs. Means that logicians need someone alongside to keep things in order and actually put into practice their often unrefined ideas. Such a condition can't be forced on logicians, but a few logically phrased criticisms, certainly not emotional appeals to or pep talks about working as part of a team and clever management can make it happen. So thanks for watching. Invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel and support my Patreon. Thank you very much. INTP workplace habits, logician colleagues. What is it like to have logician colleagues with INTP character? For logicians, colleagues aren't so much a group of people who they socialize and work with. So you don't actually socialize a lot with them, like having drinks later and then like going out with them after work. To them, they are a series of obstacles and diversions with occasionally useful knowledge. So they will find having friends and interacting uh, with your colleagues will be actually like an obstacle. Mingling, chit-chatting, drinks afterward, this make logicians want to work alone, not get up in the morning. So these are the things that they do not like. They prefer to work alone actually, in actual fact, than to like mingle around. Despite this distance, people with the logician personality type are unusually good at developing insightful and unbiased interpretations of others' motivations. Though sometimes they overthink it, becoming unnecessarily suspicious of others' goals. So one of the bad impact is that they become suspicious of other people's goals. What they do enjoy are riddles and patterns, and only logicians will be proud to be the guru who is sought after as the arbiter of the validity of an idea. So they actually could solve patterns and formulas, and they like to be regarded as the person with the logical mind that can solve issues and riddles, or for their insight on how to apply a principle to normal situations. So they like to be the one to stand out in terms of like solving the issue and then being the person who actually is the problem solver. Logicians love discussing the theories at least with proven colleagues and are almost always available as impromptu consultants. This, however, does not apply to emotional riddles and conflicts. Logicians actually feel in these charged situations, logicians' personalities have no clue what to do. Thanks for watching. Invite you to subscribe to my channel and support my Patreon. Thank you. INTP personality type explained. This is the conclusion of how INTP personality is like. Armed with a powerful intellect and vivid imagination, logicians can overcome or outmaneuver obstacles that seem unbeatable to most. So they have very strong intellect and strong logical mind to overcome a lot of problems and come up with solutions, creative solutions. At the same time, there are many quirks such as often unconstrained nationalism to many misunderstandings. Because they are very logical, so the EQ is pretty low for this group of people. There leads to conflicts sometimes if you have low EQ, emotional quotient. But embracing that this connection isn't a requirement for logicians. So they don't actually really care. It's a misuse defense mechanism. Pull down a loading and decision path, gaining insight into yourself and others is so much more rewarding. So you must get to understand other people as an INTP. Inspire yourself to be more proactive in emotional matters than INTP. The main motivation would be the well-being of your family and friends around you. With that, you start to feel. Dear friends, invite you to subscribe to my channel and support my Patreon. Thank you for watching. INTP workplace habits. INTP managers, what they are like as superiors. While logicians don't care for managing other people, is likely the most rewarding position because they allow you to explore your own creativity and let you use your own logic and understanding and give you more freedom and flexibility, as it provides the opportunity to direct concepts and theories where others handle the logistics. So you can just do the groundwork, and while the logician manager, which is INTP manager, just think of theories and ways to solve the problem. Logicians have a very tolerant and flexible style, characterized by an openness to logical suggestions and relative freedom for their subordinates. So they give them freedom to express their views, to use their logic, to use their methods to do work. So it's very rewarding, like I said just now. But this freedom comes at a cost. Logician managers have very high standards and they expect others to grab their insight instantly and to provide their own in equal measure. So you must be able to understand what the INTP manager is talking about. You must be able to have the standard and the understanding and the depth to actually understand them. As well as their demands for innovation, logicians are better than any other type at noticing logical discrepancies. So they can see very, like in your workplace, you can see mistakes and then what is wrong with the work very easily. They're very sharp. Their tendency to ignore other feelings, other people's feelings, means that their criticisms often come hard and fast as they direct projects to their own perfectionist standards. Perfectionistic. So they are actually perfectionists when it comes to work and serious matters. But nonetheless, they are still very good managers. Here again, logicians do their best for partner. This time, a delegator who can filter their thoughts and direct their team in more socially productive ways. So you need another liaison to actually help the INTP to explain matters. So that will be very ideal as workplace. A liaison can also help deter smooshing and attempts at emotional manipulation, a sure mistake for anyone who tries. So you cannot emotionally manipulate the INTP because you don't talk about emotions. It's all logic and understanding for INTP. Invite dear friends to subscribe to my YouTube channel and support my Patreon. Thank you.